These are your Unit 1A Day 10 notes. In this set of notes, you are going to focus on Standard 2A, I can rewrite and evaluate expressions. You are going to be converting fractions into decimals using a calculator so that you can order them on a number line efficiently. So, looking right here, we have a set of decimal numbers and we have a number line. If we wanted to put these numbers on the number line, we could do so fairly quickly. We know that if whatever number this is, so this would be a 0, we know that our answer, or this number, would go somewhere between 0 and 1. This one, we have 4. So we know it would be somewhere between 4 and 5. Well, if we go down here, we have 1/2, 23/5. It's hard to tell where these numbers should go. 23/5. Can you look at that and you just automatically know, oh, that's somewhere between the numbers 1 and 2? Maybe, but maybe not. So because sometimes it's just too hard to tell how big or how small a fraction is, if we're going to put them in order, we turn them into decimals because it's way easier. And why is it way easier? Well, for example, we have the number 3.5. So because it begins with 3, we know that the number is somewhere between 3 and 4 on the number line, just like we were saying up there. So thankfully, we can change all of these fractions into decimals so it's easier to put them on the number line correctly. And a little refresher, how do we do that? We divide the numerator by the denominator. So how do we do it? By dividing the numerator by the denominator, and we'll just put that in there. How do we convert a fraction to a decimal? By dividing the numerator by the denominator. So what that means is we have our 23/5 right here. In our calculator, we do 23 divided by 5, and 23 divided by 5 is equal to 4.6. Okay? So what we're going to do now is I'm going to do these right here. We're going to, like I said, we got all these fractions. It's very hard to put on a number line. So what do? We divide the numerator by the denominator. So for this, for example, 1/2 would be equal to 1 divided by 2, which is 0.5. We have this right here, 23/5. We put in our calculator 23 divided by 5. What do we get? 4.6. Now we go to our next one. 5/1. 5 divided by 1 is equal to 5. Next, we go to 16/5. We want to change 16/5 this fraction to a decimal. What do? Well, we type in our calculator 16 divided by 5, and we get an answer of 3.2. And last, we go to our last number, 17/10, and we do 17 divided by 10. 17 divided by 10 is equal to 1.7. So now that we have changed all of our fractions to decimals, we can put them in order on the number line. So I go here and I have 0.5. Well, and this is 0.5. So we know that this is between 0 and 1. And then we just need to count how many over. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that would go right there. 0.5. We can put that down there. 0.5. Beautiful. Now we can go to the next one. 23/5 is equal to 4.6. Well, 4.6, we know that it's somewhere between the numbers 4 and 5. First number is 4, So 4 and 5, and then we count 0.6 over. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it would be right there. So that would be where 23 fifths is, or 4.6, however you want to write it. All right, and then we go to the next one right here. We got 5. Well, we know that's pretty easy. That's just straight up right here. So that's 5. Next, we have 16 fifths, which we found out was 3.2. We know that the first number is 3, so it's between 3 and 4, and it's 0.2, so we go 1, 2, so that will go right there. So that's 3.2. And then our last one, 17 tenths, is 1.7. So we go to, first number is 1, so we go to 1. And it's set 0.7, so we count over 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it goes right there. And that would be 17 tenths, or 1.7, however you want to write it. All right, either way. So what you did right here is we converted our fractions to decimals and then just put the numbers on the number line. Okay, so what your job is on this page is you are going to take all of these numbers and you are going to put them on the number line. So you can see that these are all fractions, so your first job is going to be to convert them to decimals. After you've converted them to decimals, then you will go ahead and you will put them on the number line. So we have this first one right here. We have 3 over 3. In your calculator, you do 3 divided by 3, and you know, ooh, 3 divided by, that's a beautiful 3. 3 is equal to 1. 1. And then you'd put your dot here. 4, 3 over 3. Okay? All right, I'll do one more. We have 5 tenths. So in our calculator, we would do 5 divided by 10. That's equal to 0.5. I would find where 0.5 goes, which is right here. And that would be 5 tenths. Okay? So what you're going to do right now is you're going to pause the video and you're going to change all of these fractions to decimals and then put it on the number line. How do you change a fraction to a decimal? You divide the numerator by the denominator. Okay, hopefully you tried these and let's see how it went. So we have 4, 6. 4, 6 as a decimal. 4 divided by 6 is 0.6 repeating, so we will write that as it's 0.666. Keep going on, so we write that as 0.67. And 0.67 is between 0 and 1. It's almost 0.7, so we would say it goes about right here. And that would be 4, 6. All right, next one. We have 5/15. 5 divided by 15 is equal to 0.3 repeating. So we rate that as just 0.3. 0.3 is between 0 and 1, and 1, 2, 3, it's just a teeny bit more than that. So it should have been about right there, and that was 5/15. All right, now we go to this one. We have 5. 5 divided by 1 is 5. That would be right here on the number line, 5. Next, we have 10/4. Change 10/4 to a decimal. We do 10 divided by 4. 10 divided by 4 is 2.5. We go to 2 on the number line and over 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that is where the dot would go. And we would call that 10/4. All right, 6 divided by 3, number 7. 6/3, 6 divided by 3, that is 2. So the number would go on 2 on the number line. So that's 6/3. All right, and we have 22/5. 22 divided by 5 is 4.4. So we go to the number line, 4.4. We know 4.4 is between 4 and 5. How many? Count over 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that would be 22/5. And last but not least, we have number 9, 310 hundredths. So 310 divided by 100 is equal to 3.1. So I would need to go to where 3 is, over 1, and that is where my dot would go to represent 310 100ths. Okay, right, we got a lot going on this page. So pretty much all we did was we took this number, we converted it to a decimal, and then we put it on the number line. When we put it on the number line, we put it as its original number. So although this is 3 over 3, or 3/3 is equal to 1, and it's 1 on the number line, when we wrote it down here, we left it as 3/3, okay? So we're showing 3/3 on the number line is right here, and how do we know that? Because 3/3 is equal to 1. Okay, so hopefully you had this all in your notes. If not, fix it, and ask me any questions if you have any.